Hey guys, how's it going? This is BillyEatWorld, and today I want to talk to you about my top 5 least favourite maps and game modes. Now last week I told you guys about my top 5 favourite maps, and generally speaking I like most maps in Battlefield 4, but despite the great aspects of any game, there's bound to be things that you don't like. If any of you guys disagree with the maps I've included on this top 5, that's completely fine, but just remember that this is my opinion and I understand that there are no doubt people who like these maps. In any case, let me know what your top 5 least favourite maps and game modes are in the comment section below, because I'd love to hear from you. But anyway, to kick off my list at number 5 is Silk Road Conquest. Arguably, China Rising has so far been the weakest DLC as far as new maps go, and Silk Road just happens to be my least favourite map in the rotation. The thing about this map that really pisses me off is the fact that it's such a huge map with so much open space. This means that unless you like to get destroyed by vehicles and snipers, to play infantry you'll inevitably get herded into a clusterfuck of other infantry players hanging out on the objectives. The visual style on this map is really cool though, and I must admit that it's a map that I wanted to like, but the fact is, I just don't. I can understand why vehicle players would like this map though, because let's face it, who doesn't like shooting fish in a barrel? And at number 4 is Hainan Resort Rush. Now, any rush map where the attacking team starts on a carrier would be all good and fine under the assumption that the whole team will be playing the objective. Unfortunately, this is rarely the case, and if enough of your team decides to run recon and snipe from the carrier or the island, you'll be lucky to take the first set of objectives. Most rush maps have at least one tough set of objectives, but when they're the first set, it's kind of annoying. The only thing the defending team really needs to do is set up and support the LAV, which will happily mow down incoming enemy boats and helis. And to give you an idea of how little I actually play this game mode, I actually didn't have any footage stored of it. So what you're looking at now is actually obliteration gameplay. My advice would be to skip this one if you're playing a vanilla rush rotation, because it's just not worth it. Okay, at number 3 is Siege of Shanghai TDM. Generally speaking, on most TDM maps with the random spawns, it's hard to lock down any one particular area. On Siege of Shanghai though, this isn't the case at all, and in fact there's actually 2 areas a team can lock down. The top of the buildings are easily locked down by anyone who's willing to set up some C4 on the elevators, and 2 or 3 guys can easily defend the walkway area where the USAS pickup is. Both of these areas are also the easiest places to get kills from, and I know that anytime I play on this map, holding these positions is my main objective. The problem is that trying to recapture either of these areas from a decent team is a sure way to see your KD drop like a stone. I don't like any TDM map with areas that are almost impossible to get to, and I think that this map really takes the cake. So at number 2, we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel now with Operation Locker Conquest 64. To me, this map is the exact opposite of what Battlefield should be all about. The difference between Battlefield and games like Call of Duty is that most maps reward players who think tactically, and Locker just doesn't. This map is just a series of frustrating choke points populated with players spamming grenades and airburst rounds. The only real flanking route on this map is the snow lane, which isn't much better and can be locked down with a good squad using a couple of LMGs. Even if you do manage to push past the clusterfuck and clean up a few enemies from behind, have you really achieved anything? Most people who camp the doorways on Locker aren't exactly the sharpest players in the game anyway. To be honest, I actually went back and tried to play this game mode again yesterday, and I actually almost pulled my hair out trying to capture some footage for this video. I'm sure many people would agree with me when I say that to call this map frustrating is an understatement. And finally, at number 1 is the map that everyone either loves or loves to hate. Ironically, Operation Metro Conquest was one of the most popular maps from Battlefield 3, while at the same time being one of the most broken. It suffers from the exact same issues as Operation Locker, except for the fact that it has even less flanking routes and even more grenade spam. If you spawn in on the US side, you're almost guaranteed to lose the game, and as a result, a lot of people just leave the game on this side, which makes it even harder to push through. Normally I wouldn't suggest joining in on the things that make a map terrible, but there's little or no choice on this map. On lower play counts, this map can be a little bit more playable, but on 64 player, your best bet is to just grab an airburst and preserve your KD. Either that or just leave and find a new game. Why they brought this map back of all the maps in Battlefield 3, I'm not sure. Even with the new elevators and side doors, it's still as frustrating as it ever was. But anyway guys, that just about wraps up my top 5 least favourite maps and game modes. What do you guys think? Do you agree with this top 5 or would you change it around a little? In any case, let me know what you think in the comment section below, and if you like what you see, please remember to like and subscribe. And if you haven't already, please check out all my other Battlefield 4 videos. I've got them all linked in the playlist in the description below. And if you have any suggestions for weapons or loadouts that you'd like to see in upcoming episodes on this channel, then feel free to let me know in the comments of this video or send me a tweet on Twitter at BillyEatWorld. But until next time guys, see you later and have a good one.